Hello everyone, it's Allison with the Everyday Scrapbooker, and I am stopping in to share with you a 12 by 12 layout using an oversized picture. I enjoy once in a while printing my photos at 12 by 12 inches, or I try. I print my pictures at Walmart and they don't always come out 12 by 12 inches. Quite honestly, they have never come out 12 by 12 inches yet. Close, but not quite. And this was no different. So this picture roughly measures like 9 inches by 12, which is big enough. I would prefer it to be 12 by 12, but I'm going to work with what I've got. So you saw the photo at the top of the layout at the beginning of the video. I had just placed that there because I was trying to figure out a design in my mind before I got going. I also knew that I wanted to add some watercoloring. So I just marked out on the paper where I wanted to put the watercoloring. I added a little bit of clear gesso, and now I'm just adding some watercolor using the packaging technique using Close to My Heart reinkers. I'm using Glacier, and it is available at Close to My Heart right now. I will include the link to my Close to My Heart shop if you would like to pick this up for yourself. And I'll try and include all the other products that I used in this layout as well if they come from Close to My Heart. So I'm just doing the watercoloring right now. I added a little bit of splatter using the reinker as well. When you don't add water to your reinker when you're doing the watercoloring, the color stays truer and darker than it would if you added water. So I added the splatter with just straight reinker. I didn't add any water to that and went to town adding a little bit of splatter. I also decided that I wanted to use up some of my stash. So I pulled out my zip strips. Those are the like product tags strips at the top of all of your pattern papers. Some of them have patterns on them, like Close to My Hearts do. Others don't. So if they do have a pattern on them, feel free to use them up. That's what I do. I hang on to them anytime that I can. And when I think of it, especially when I need a little paper border, I pull those out and add them to my layout. Both zip strips that I'm using in this layout are from Retired Collections from Close to My Heart. But I liked that the one had already a rainbow pattern on it. And I thought the Lagoon zip strip coordinated nicely, and so that's what I used with it. I did have a blue one pulled out beforehand, but I didn't like the way it looked paired up with the Glacier watercoloring in the background, so tossed it back in the little box that it came from and added the Lagoon one instead. This little half doily is also from my stash. I have a little plastic bowl. It actually used to be one of my kids' baby bowls, of all things. And I leave it on my desk with all kinds of odds and ends that don't make the cut from previous cards and layouts and projects that I've made. And I often go there first before I cut something new or add something else in place of it. So I had this half doily in my stash, and I thought it would work perfectly to layer along with the title. This is where the title is going to go. I also decided to add a little bit more color by adding a portion of another zip strip. It's also Retired. And the amazing or awesome sticker that you see there actually came from another Close to My Heart collection on a sticker sheet, and I hadn't used it, and it worked perfectly on this layout. I wanted to layer it over the hearts. I also knew that I wanted to add some sewing thread because it just needed a little bit more texture. So I'm going to throw that underneath the sticker. I just added some foam squares to pop it up a little bit. And actually later on in this video, after I've got the entire title laid down and adhered, I'm going to move everything down just a little bit because they didn't really line up all that well, but you'll see that later on in the video. The black alphas that I am adding right now come from Elle Studio. They were part of my January paper issues kit. It's called Jane's Alphabet, and I'll link this to the video as well. It'll be in the description box below, so you can find that as well. There may still be some January kits left over, and if there is, definitely go ahead and pick them up. I absolutely love using the sticker alphas. At one time, I didn't care too much for them, so always used my Cricut or stamping to create my titles. And I've kind of had a change of heart in the last little bit and can't use alphas enough lately. And I like mixing it all up so that there's some stamping, there's some Cricut, there's sticker alphas, whatever I can get my hands on, I use it all. So the second part of the title that I'm just working on right now, the word rainbow, I cut with my Cricut, and I did each letter individually. I did this all off camera so I could get all the colors of the rainbow into the title. There are 7 letters in rainbow, and it worked perfectly to use the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet instead of just red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple color scheme. So for the indigo, I just used Close to My Heart sapphire cardstock. All these letters were also cut from scrap papers that were in my stash. It feels so good to get papers from my stash used up. Sometimes I wish I was able to use more of the paper just to get more of it moving and out of my stash, but it's always a good feeling to use any of it for any part of my projects. And that's also something that I always reach for first before I grab a new piece of paper. I'm using liquid glue to adhere the title. And now that that is totally done, I used a little bit of washi tape to adhere my layout base to my desk because I'm going to stamp my journaling. It's time consuming, and part of me really hates it. The other part of me really loves it because the finished product always looks so amazing. So I'm using Close to My Heart modern typewriter alphas to create all of my journaling. Little trick with the journaling is keep it short and sweet when you are using this technique because it will take you a while. So I just started stamping my journaling in the video, and then I'll complete it off camera because it just gets to be too repetitive and too boring for you to watch the whole thing, and you'd be sitting here pretty well all day watching me, and I don't want that. I'm sure you don't either. So I will shorten it up. Pardon my head there in the corner. But yeah, like I said, I'm just going to shorten it up so that I can move on to other things. I had a brainwave as I was trying to figure out how to add the date to my layout. The date is really important. I always include that so that when we look back on our memories, we know what day it happened. It's just like my journaling. It's got to be in there. And I'm using these large alphas also from Close to My Heart. I think it's called Chronicle Type. And I overlap the letters on the cardstock. You're going to see it here in just a second. There you go. I'm going to fussy cut that out and then attach it over the picture in the top right hand of the layout. I'm going to shorten this too because you don't need to see the whole fussy cutting thing happening. It's just too much. Doesn't that look great? I decided as I was stamping this and cutting it out that I need to make an entire title this way, and that may actually be the very next YouTube video that I share with you. No promises, but stay tuned and keep watching because I really like how it turned out, and I've got to do it again on a bigger scale. Anywho, the colors I used for the title was green, blue, purple. So I used Close to My Heart, Glacier, Close to My Heart, Sage, Glacier, and Wisteria. And then the 4 is actually a foam alpha sticker from Close to My Heart. I don't know if it's available anymore from Close to My Heart. I kind of don't think so, but if it is, I will link it once again at the bottom of the video. And then to finish off that little cluster at the top there, I stamped the entire date using my date stamp and then created a little pennant to attach with the title. With that, this layout is pretty well complete. I just wanted to give you an idea of creating a 12 by 12 layout using a oversized photo. Scrapbooking this way is largely still uncharted territory. Anytime I have looked on Pinterest or even Googled large photos, not very many samples comes up. And I thought that I would change that, because what if you wanted to scrap an oversized photo? And even myself, like, I try every so often to scrapbook large photos. And if there isn't that much inspiration out there to do it, not many people are going to want to do it. So that's my reasoning. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. I will be back again soon with another video, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a like. Talk to you later.